So I need to correct myself on just a couple of things that I said yesterday. I was talking about Moses and there was a part in the film where he said that he left his wife to go up a mountain, and I remembered seeing a cartoon version of Moses. And I'm pretty sure in that version he left his wife and just went off and did the whole journey without his wife. So I think that cartoon was just incorrect, or maybe they just didn't want to have to draw his wife in every scene. So they kind of, maybe they just left her out because of that. So because of that, I thought when he left his wife, he went off to Egypt and did the whole desert thing without his wife. But according to this, he only left, according to the real human version, he only left his wife so that he'd go up to the mountain and start praying or whatever. I don't know what he was actually planning on doing, but yeah, he then comes back, gets his wife, and the child is still a baby. So yes, that is this sort of story of it. I think if I was to remake this story, I'd probably want the scenes. And then I'd probably want the human's interpretation of it, but then I'd want to correct the human's interpretation of it, and just because I feel like just watching the film, just watching the story of Moses, it's just like watching a Hercules film. I wouldn't go through a Hercules film and start being like, oh no, that's not the truth. Oh, that's not the truth. Oh no, that's not the truth. Because I'd feel stupid, because it's like, well, it's obviously not the truth. Just to have to keep saying that this stuff isn't the truth. It feels like just talking to mad people, and then I don't want to just talk to mad people. So I think I would like to do it, the film, as in you show the clips, and then you show people's interpretation of it, and then you have my interpretation of the clips that people were saying in regards to talking about this. Why do you think I did this? Why do you think this is my chosen guy? I have not done this, and even the thing with the whole child born, I would say in my scenes that I don't actually think the killing of the firstborns was a true story. These people were being born into poverty, and a lot of kids that were born into poverty died. That their parents were probably forced to work, and it doesn't even make sense, because the boys are going to turn into the slaves of the older ones. So why would you kill the boys? You're just killing your future generation of slaves. I suppose you could say that maybe the guys might form an army and turn against them. But yeah, I just don't think that if population reduction of a specific gender, of a specific race, was what you would really aim for, it would be better to kill the females, because the females are the ones that give birth. You can have 100 females and one male, and all 100 of those females can still have a baby. They just need one guy to be a donor, and the guy just needs to have sex twice a day, and then voila, they all get pregnant within the year. But if it was the other way around, and you had 100 males and only one female, well, that would really reduce the number of births. So yeah, it doesn't make sense why only the boys should die. And it's interesting how this killing of the firstborns was around both in the Moses story and in the Jesus story. And I feel like the real purpose of the story of the killing of the firstborns was actually just to create shock. You wanted a story that was shocking, that was horrific. Everyone could look at a baby and think, look how innocent it is, look how cute it is. Okay, when they start crying, you start wanting to kill the baby. But I think, though, the fact that babies are so hard to look after and raise, a lot of them would have died. And I don't think he would have needed to do this. I think there was enough dying on their own. It wasn't a good place to have a kid or to want to raise children. And I think even though the people born in this time would have been very stupid, I think not having a kid would have been, he could have, if he really wanted to reduce the population, he would have done surgery on women so that they couldn't give birth. Find out what the reproductive organs are, and then find a way of cutting open, making a slit in the stomach, and destroying those so that the eggs don't go in the right place. That would be a more better way of reducing it. But I can't say for certain that this order wasn't decreed, and I can't say for certain that babies weren't killed because of the parents, the race. Is it it's not even race, or it is race, I guess. Jewish, is that a race, or is that more of a sector? I don't know, because race is to do with colour, and they would have all been sort of browny white. But anyway, yeah, I can't say that it didn't happen, but I can say that if you wanted to create a story that is shocking and gets people's attention, saying that the king was ordering, the killing of babies, I think this is what would get a lot of people interested in the story, because this is a way to shock them. So I'm not saying that it isn't true, I'm not saying that it is true, but I'm saying that just because it's in a book that it's true, that does not mean that it is the truth. It's almost like changing history to make something that's not true seem true, and because there's nothing to prove it, you just believe it, and I wouldn't advise that. What I would say in this interview is that I'm very impressed with the architecture that these people have managed to achieve and accomplish, and I would have favoured them because of the great works that they were able to do, and if the slaves were the ones who did this great work, then I would favour the ones that did the great work and achieved a lot. I think they would have achieved much more working together than out in the desert. So I don't know. I would take, if I was to retell this story, I would probably include the people's interpretations of it. I would also need to go into hiding, I think, because there's a lot of people that aren't going to agree with me. But yeah, it's just really annoying. When you watch a video and someone's talking about you, I'm God, I'm the real Christ who can speak for God. Okay, I'm not going to get everything right, and I might be deceived myself at some points because I'm only human. But yeah, if someone's talking about you and saying, oh, God did this, and yeah, we can see God did this, and then you're just thinking, no, I didn't do that, and no, I don't actually support this guy. It's just really, really frustrating, and I'm sick of hearing all these one-sided stories, and it does remind me of what's happening with Diddy. I don't believe these stories. I think a lot of them are just hearsay and people making things up to see how the public react, and I'm not hearing any of his. I'm not hearing his side, and even his lawyer isn't really, his excuse for why did he have so many baby oils was that I don't think the number is accurate, which might be true. I mean, I feel like whoever wrote 1,000 bottles of baby oil might have deliberately done that just to try and shock the people into thinking that this guy's obviously doing something strange, when really baby oil is not illegal, and it's not illegal to have 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Might be insane, but it's not illegal. But if it's not even true, then I don't know. But his lawyer saying that I don't think it was 1,000 bottles. I agree with his lawyer. I don't think it was 1,000 bottles. I think it was more like 300-400, and the number has been exaggerated because shock. You want to shock. You would lie about what happened to Moses, tell people killing babies to try and excuse as to the reason why his mother. I might even retell that, because in this story the mother was pushing the baby away and crying about it, and I think maybe she was a bit upset, but you've been looking after the baby to prevent it from dying, and so how is throwing it down a river to the servants of or to anyone? It wasn't even to the servants, it was just down the river. That's basically you killing the baby. And I guess to justify her doing that, you're saying, oh, because the king was going to kill them. Well, if the king was going to kill the baby, why not just give it over to the king, the servants who were going to kill the baby because of the king's orders and stuff? If that was real, why didn't she just do that? And I guess it would give the baby more chance, but it wouldn't. Putting a baby in a basket and throwing it down the river is not giving the baby more chance. That is just giving it more chance of drowning. And so yeah, I think this. I don't think this story is true, and that is my view on this. Just like Diddy's lawyer thought that there wasn't 1,000 bottles of baby oil, that was untrue, and I think this is untrue, and it's just really annoying to hear lots of people talk about it, and you can't get your word in, you can't get your say in, you can't say what you want to say. And therefore I'd like to create a documentary where I do say what I say. Just show this little clip as well.
Did they tell you his name?
Yes.
Yes, I know it.
So this is God has, well, according to this, he's seen God, and he thinks he knows God's name.
The name of our God has passed down, so we would know it when a time came like this.
Saying things like this, every generation, there has been a name of God, and when that name is revealed, we would know it. The name of God is Anna. This is the name, and I can prove it because I can prove that it links to so many things. Grace means Anna. You are saved by grace. Manna is, take off the N, and it says Anna, and that's the power of God that you are fed by. And Hosanna, and then there's all the singers as well, Rihanna and B is known as Queen Bee. Well, my surname is B, so it's this is the name of God, but whatever this name is not. But yeah, there's a little bit of truth in this. But the name is not what Moses thinks it is. It's Anna.
Sarah?
The main important reason why the name must be hidden is because it's actually a female name. That is the main reason why the name had to be hidden, because it needed to be hidden, the fact that God is actually a female. Hence, anyone who worships a male god is worshipping a false god, something of their own imagination.
They said, let's consult the old lady, Serach Bat Asher. Does he have the special words?
You know the name, yes? Your mother told you. So if Moses knows the name, he has seen our God. Moses?
Make a big scene about this, how dramatic it is. He's about to expose the name to the crazy old lady? Now, to me, that is just an example of a bunch of fools who are crazy and seem to worship a crazy lady. That lady lying on a bed is a crazy person. La, 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 singing terribly, sounds awful, saying, I think God is great. I think she reveals what she says later.
God is with us.
She says, he has the special words, the words of redemption. He's for real.
So I would love to add to that lady who's just spoken, not the people in the film, because it's just a film. But yeah, that lady. Why would you think that an old lady lying in a bed that looks crazy and singing like she's crazy? Why would you trust that he has the right name because of some sort of crazy lady that's lying on a bed half dead? Why would you see this as being a sign from God? I don't understand the logic of that. And so yeah, I feel like when it comes to the story, it's obviously not true, but when it comes to what I'd really question is the people who would watch this and the people who would agree with this, and people think, oh yeah, God is doing this, God is doing that. Why do you think God has made a sign like this, and what is special about this name? And if that name that Moses was heard was so special, why do people not even say it now? It's changed to Yahweh, and there's a ton of names. The name keeps changing. So if this is proof that is the name of God, which is not proof that is the name of God, why is it different now? Why is the name of God God? That is what it is now. God is the name right now. So
He's the Redeemer. He's God's chosen prophet.
Based on a name that no one even knows. I don't even know what this name was, Ashi or something like that. It's crazy.
So much for secrecy.
Is it true? Has our God returned?
Yes, because a crazy woman said so. Okay, I've got to stop now.